I have all of these markers next to me because not too long ago, I believe it was around 8:30 p.m. and it's 9:30 p.m. now. I finished basically the Merry Christmas styrofoam drawing with a drawing of Santa both on the front and back between those red and green borders, since those are the colors typically associated with Christmas, at least here in the United States. I'm thinking of getting to work on Dad's Guinness bird styrofoam drawing. Except for Dad's, I'm thinking of going with have a Guinness when you're tired. That ad commercial that Guinness did, except that might be a bit controversial since an alcoholic beverage isn't something you think of having when you're tired. Rather, you think of having something like coffee. Yeah, but I more have coffee for the taste. I like it plain. Dad got this sub. Philly cheesesteak with, I believe, things like peppers and onions, although currently they're not that easy for me to see. I believe I first woke up. I first went to bed around 6 p.m. I made an attempt at around somewhere between 3 and 4 in the morning. I'm chasing the black olives, though that wasn't really successful, so I stayed up until about 6 in the morning. I first got up around 9:30 in the morning, had some coffee, along with the two French curler donuts that Dad got at Dunkin' Donuts the other day. Then I think there was a point in which I fell asleep around noon, woke up around 1 in the afternoon or so. That was around the time Dad guided me via phone while on a break at work. I believe his lunch break around 1 p.m. He was going to do that for me in the morning, but there was a point around somewhere between 6 and 7 in the morning that the power went out. For maybe about somewhere between half an hour and an hour. And it explains why when I got up The first time I noticed I had a battery of 40%. It's currently at 79% because when it got to 35%, I shut this laptop so it would charge while the charger's plugged in, so the battery percentage would go up. And then I ended up falling asleep. For that afternoon nap I unintentionally had today. I carefully put the pizza in. It was on a sort of metal pan. We currently only have one oven mitt, and that mitt is pretty worn and old. So I'm a bit apprehensive about its ability to protect my hand. From the high heats of the oven. Once I put it in the oven, after it preheated to 450 degrees Fahrenheit faster than expected, according to my dad, I tried calling him twice to ask how long to cook the pizza for. He didn't respond, so I set the time for 20 minutes. Within a minute, he called me and then corrected me that 10 minutes was the amount of time to cook it for, so I simply took 10 minutes off when it was at 19 minutes. The oven at Dad's apartment is more onerous than the oven at Mom's, since for the timer, Mom's oven has a number pad, much like this one. Maybe the numbers are arranged a bit differently, but the point still stands. Since Dad's oven doesn't have that, I had to manually keep pressing the up and then the down button over and over again in order to add and remove minutes. It took me a while to figure out exactly how to set to cook timer rather than just timer. These are some cookies someone gave Dad. I believe while he was on the job. It was by someone he delivers to. They're pretty good. The microwave at Dad's place is easier to use because I can set exact times down to the nearest second. Mom's microwave if I want to cook something for, say, 45 seconds, I can't set exactly 45 seconds, so I would have to do something like press the 1 for 1 minute, and then wait until it's down to around 15 seconds. Or do 30 seconds, hit the plus add 30 seconds button, wait for it to ding down, and then do it again. Only that time, wait for it to hit around 15 seconds. This is sparkling cider. Excuse me, that was given to Dad by his mom. The other day. After cooking the pizza, I carefully got it out of the oven, put it on top of the stove, which was fine since the stove is different from the oven, and the stove was kept off since I used the oven to cook the pizza. We don't tend to use the stove very often, so there tends to be items on top of the stove, although I cleared some of those items off the stove. Before I started cooking the pizza, since it was planned for me to use the stove to put the metal pan down once the pizza was finished cooking. I used the pizza cutter to cut the pizza into quarters, and then for lunch I ate 2 of the quarters, or half of the pizza. I'm currently this far into upgrading the Tome of Secrets. This is all that's left of the sparkling cider. And that's with Dad putting ice along with the cider. I used up pretty much all of my 3 packs of ancient knowledge so that I could complete the research entirely from scratch and entirely by myself for the Mountain Hall's Ancient Wonder, since upgrading it increases the rate at which I produce goods, I believe it applies to at least standard goods. The basic, refined, precious. The precious goods used to be called magic goods, but now they're called precious. I think it'll still be a while before I unlock any of the refined goods, at least the ones that aren't tied to a settlement. They're not part of this chapter. I think they come into play here. No. They come into play for the elementals chapter, of which I'm quite a ways from. Still. This genie building is very valuable. The first pickup gave me 100 diamonds, so I can use this building. Oh, and it's slightly outdated too, so imagine if it was for the chapter I'm currently on. I can use it to be able to much more quickly afford premium expansions, which I could then use for working on various things. I'm not 100% sure what my priorities are going forward for my city in Elvenar, although I might want to greatly upgrade this armory in order to increase the rate at which I produce orcs. Even just a moderate increase in the rate in which I produce orcs, because that resource never decays by itself, could greatly increase the amount of orcs I have in reserves. Before getting this ancient wonder and upgrading it, I averaged around 36,000 orcs, and now I average more around 48,000. I'm only where I'm at now because some hours ago, I think it was in the afternoon, maybe the late afternoon of 4 p.m., I did some catering for the ongoing crystal tournament in order to get knowledge points to go toward the Tome of Secrets. At some point, I would like to put in Enar's Embassy and the Flying Academy, the two ancient wonders for the Wood Elves chapter. And these are the two chapters for the sorcerers and the two ancient wonders for the sorcerers and the dragons. Quite useful.